So today I just want to talk about mental health and mental illnesses that, it's a hard battle to live with mental illnesses. And I have struggled most of my life with mental illness because I didn't have an opportunity in life to grow the way I should have grown. Um, but just to give you a little backstory, I had a system that failed me as a child, that fought for me to be in homes where they were not appropriate for me, to be with people that were unsafe for me. We talk about trauma now and stuff like that. And I went to school and I graduated. I went to social service community worker program and I found out a lot of stuff that I never knew about, like complex PTSD. And because I was diagnosed when I was 22 after having found out I was diabetic and had stage 4 ovarian cancer at the end of my pregnancy, and ended up having a complete mental breakdown because it was a lot. Um, Also, being in a relationship that was very toxic. And I have been learning that I was misdiagnosed as borderline personality disorder when in fact I had complex PTSD, and it took a lot out of my body and my brain, and I have dealt with a lot of mental health issues. And in the last 5 years, I left that toxic relationship. I started over. I went to school. I graduated. I have been trying to get into the field. I have applied for 927 jobs, and nothing has happened. Um, and then in this last year, a lot of things happened that should have never happened. My mother got sick December 21st back in 2003. Me and my mom had a very toxic relationship, but we actually sat down 7 years ago and talked everything out and started to build a better relationship, knowing that we both had trauma. So then I went and helped her as she died of cancer. Watching that was brutal. Helping her through that was brutal. Um, she was my rock. She was my person. She was the one that, when I had a really crappy day, she was the one that I turned to. I still was going to school at this time, doing assignments. And when she passed in February 24th, 2024, I went through the motions. Like, I went and did her gathering, and I went through the motions of life. I ended up having a diabetic seizure. I parked my car, took a diabetic seizure, and my heart stopped. Um, Being a type 1 brittle diabetic on top of it, it's really, really hard. My brain, I was part of a research project, and I cannot give any information out because it was a signed confidentiality thing. I'm not allowed to talk about the psychiatrist. I'm not allowed to talk about this research project, which I didn't mind because I just wanted to know how much trauma I had. Well, come to find out that I have 86% trauma. Nobody in the mental illness field can ever understand. The ones that I did the research project with cannot understand how I'm functioning and how I'm not schizophrenic and how I'm not a sociopath or anything like that. And they said, you are one strong person because you should be worse off. And I said, but the thing is I am. I am so hard on myself because I was told my whole life that I was never good enough and I would never be anything. And every time that I try to make my life better, it just doesn't. And now I am facing really hard financial times. I am not bringing in very much money at all. I'm trying to find a job. I am trying to do the right things in life. I'm trying to be part of society. I want to go to work. It's not like I don't want to, but it's just the obstacles. I mean, I didn't work a whole lot in my life. I did go fishing and I did, like cleaning and stuff like that, but I just didn't have time because being in a toxic relationship, taking care of your kids, dealing with mental illness, dealing with type 1 diabetes, it didn't give me a lot of work experience. But the thing is you've got to give a person a chance so that they can understand how to do the jobs that you want them to do. You don't just sit there and say, oh, no, we need somebody with 3 years experience, a bachelor in this and a bachelor in that. And, you got to give somebody a chance. I mean, you want people to be positive. You've got to give them positive. You can't just keep beating them down, because they will not see the positive in life. And especially when they've had so much trauma. And the people that go through trauma could benefit people in so many ways that it's not even funny, because we can understand people that have gone through trauma in a different light than people that haven't. Okay, good that you've gone to school and got your bachelor's, but have you gone through anything that's like remotely devastating, that it could like cripple you for the rest of your life? And I just find that you want people to be positive, but yet you don't give them positive. And you don't give them the proper supports, and you don't give them the proper care that they need. And the mental health services we have in St. John, New Brunswick, it's not good. I mean, they sit there and say, oh, well, just do deep breathing. And it's like, deep breathing does not always help. It hurts more than it helps, because when you're in that mindset of being that depressed and that much anxiety and that much panic attacks going on, that does not help. I mean, people need to have somebody actually truly listen to them and let them vent that out so that they can, make their feelings feel validated and make them feel like they are validated, and not say, well, I'm going to call the psych ward because you just talked about suicide. And the thing is it's not about the suicide thought. It's about the peace that they're thinking about. It's not even about dying that they want to do. It's the fact is that they've had enough pain and enough agony and enough exhaustion from it that they just do not want to fight it anymore. And I mean, I understand it because I've gone through a lot. Like, I've gone through addiction. I've gone through sexual assault. I've gone through, like, domestic violence. I've gone through it. I've gone through a lot. I mean, there was a lot of things that happened in my life that I understand. And I would love to help people. At the end of the day, I would like to be a counselor, because I understand people on a totally different level than most of these counselors that are doing these jobs. They don't understand the complex of, what mental illness is. I mean, it is a hard battle fighting up there in your head. I remember one of my teachers saying, okay, in your head, there's a hallway with drawers. And I looked at them and I'm like, what? I see a tornado and a hurricane going and papers flying everywhere, but I don't see no drawers in hallways. But when you've been through so much, that's what it is. And people don't understand that. And people they think, oh, well, you're just being dark and you're just being, just depressed all the time and you're sad all the time and we're tired of it all the time. Do you think we are not tired of it? We are trying to unbury ourselves from the hell that we've been through. And yet people are going to sit there and tell us, oh, well, guess what? You shouldn't feel that way. You should be more positive. Well, come on, give me something positive. If you guys want to hear more videos about this, or if you want somebody to talk to, please reach out to me, because I have no problem talking to you. And I will not judge you, and I will not make you feel like you are not validated, because I'm telling you, a lot of mental illnesses are being unvalidated, and that's why people aren't opening up. And I think everybody has the right to their feelings, because they've gone through something and it's really crushing them and it's really hurting them. So if you need somebody to talk to, or if you want me to do more videos, just, I'm here. I get it. I really do. I have really dark days, and I've had a lot of them in the last 41 years of my life, when a lot of people haven't been there for me. So if you would like to talk more, I'm here. I'm here.